In the 1990s, ever-encroaching civilization is putting enormous pressure on all African wildlife, especially the big cats, the cheetahs, leopards and lions. Their natural habitat is constantly being eroded. Their whole way of life is in danger. In some places, numbers in the wild are down to crisis levels. Londolozi is a private game reserve of 35,000 acres bordering the huge Kruger National Park in northern Transvaal. Here, they're working to ensure the survival of Africa's big cats for future generations. The park enjoys a world-famous reputation for combining adventure travel with game conservation. It offers the chance to get close to the animals, close enough to almost become part of their world. Jimmy Marshall is one of the reserve's expert wildlife rangers. Our tracker is William Sabui, keeping a watchful eye for the unexpected. Londolozi, with its abundance of game, can support a substantial lion population, and it's not long before William picks up a trail.
Waterbuck up in front there, a couple of waterbuck.
Lion prides vary greatly in number. Usually there are about 6, but today we're lucky. The group is larger.
He's saying that there's a big male track, a couple of lioness tracks, and a few cub tracks. He's saying that they were lying up in the shade and they've come down to drink. Yeah. They've come out of this shade of this tree, come down to water, and gone into cover for the day.
The younger of the lionesses has 4 cubs around 3 months old. The bigger cubs in the pride are aged about 6 months. Adult lions spend about 20 hours of every day dozing. Not much fun for a youngster who's full of energy. The cub persists and eventually succeeds in getting the adult's attention. The big cat is gentle as a kitten, yet he's capable of breaking a deer's neck with just one swipe of his massive paw. Watching his efforts, brothers and sisters pose in a picture fit for a postcard from Africa. The older cubs look to be in fine physical shape, a sign of plentiful food. Even so, many won't grow old. In bad times like drought, the mortality rate can be as high as 100%. And even this idyllic picture will change, for females reach maturity quicker. They then mate with the adult males, and the young lions are driven from the pride to fend for themselves. Often they don't survive. Cubs usually take their mother's milk for between 9 months and a year, although they can be weaned as young as 3 months. The longer this source of goodness is available, the better chance of survival. Despite this, their lifespan isn't a long one. In captivity, lions have been known to live to 25, but longevity in the wild is about 9 years. The cub is again becoming restless. Dusk is approaching. Mealtime. As darkness falls, the hunt begins. The first ritual is to stretch, discarding dead outer layers of nail. Waterbuck sense the pride is on the move, and the nightly panic begins.
Those lions must have seen those waterbuck. The waterbuck see them, they'll head into that thick stuff. We'll have to cut around.
With the hunt on, the pride moves quickly. A lioness can reach speeds of up to 40 miles an hour over short distances, so it's often the females who down the prey. Males also have a turn of speed and can cover 100 yards in 4 or 5 seconds. No one can risk following on foot, but the dense bush makes tracking the moving pride difficult.
Once they've picked up scent of prey, it's not easy to stick with them through the thick stuff, so we'll have to cut around a bit. Generally live during the heat of the day, start to warm up, loosen up. You saw them stretching and sharpening claws. As soon as it gets dark and cools off, they start moving, and they can move a couple of hours well into the night.
Just how close are we going to be able to get to these guys?
Well, if it's not too thick, we can get in pretty close. It depends. If there are cubs there, we've got to be a bit cautious of the females. The cubs move to a kill. We've got to hang back a bit. There's no ways you can get out of the vehicle.
Now, why is that?
Or even stand up, because they can then pick up the human figure, which is a threat.
Jim?
Yeah, there they are. There they are. Just stay down, guys. Yeah, that's great. We can maybe get a bit closer once we've seen that the females are relaxed.
Getting this close to a kill so soon after it's been made is hard to achieve.
Nyala. Hè? Hier niet lucht.
All the animals are getting their share, although if food was scarce, this wouldn't be the case. Then the adults, led by the big males, would eat their fill first, leaving the cubs to fend for themselves. constantly left out, they quickly become weak and susceptible to disease. In times of starvation, the cubs are also not taught to kill properly. This is a lesson normally learned when an adult first stuns the prey and then allows the youngsters to take over. But tonight, there's plenty for everyone, and in the space of half an hour, the pride completely devours the 80-kilogram waterbuck. As civilization continues to encroach upon its plains and grasslands habitat, lion prides increasingly tend to be grouped in pockets and not widespread as they once were. But the second cat we've come in search of is definitely on the endangered list. To see one of the programs which is helping preserve cheetahs in the wild, we travel south to Natal. Here, the owners of Londolozi have set up a second game reserve, Phinda. Around 42,000 acres of former farmland are being transformed into one of the best-stocked parks in Africa. At the airstrip, we're met by General Manager Les Carlisle.
Welcome to Phinda. Really good to have you here. Phinda Zilwani means return of the wildlife, and that's exactly what we're doing here. Bringing wild animals back to these old cattle farms and recreating game reserves. The really exciting thing about it is we're not only bringing back ordinary animals that most people bring back, we've brought in rhino, lion, elephant, the whole shooting match. Really exciting stuff. Africa's biggest commodity is Africa itself.
Wild cheetah numbers are down to a few thousand, so restocking is vital. The particular animal Les wants to show us is located via its radio collar.
The reason for the collars again is we've changed the use of land here from being old cattle farms. All the neighbors, or a lot of the neighbors, are still cattle farmers, and obviously bringing predators in is an immediate threat to their livelihoods. And as a guarantee to the local farmers that we'd know where our predators are all the time, we've put these radio collars on so that we can track our predators when they get out and cause damage, and preferably before they get out and cause damage. Cheetah are predators like all predators, and they are reasonably unpredictable, but I suppose cheetah are the most predictable of all the predators. That youngster that got up and came to have a look at us now was just trying to see whether we were threatening them or not really concerned that we were going to steal the food, and not really going to do too much about it. What he would probably have done is move off. Cheetah rely exclusively on their fitness to catch their prey. So they're not going to threaten their health and their fitness for anything. They'll rather run from a fracas than stand and fight. They're completely wild predators. We've had them in an enclosure to habituate them, to make them used to human presence and not feel threatened by humans. And that's the only reason why we'd be standing here. A month ago, if I brought you in here, you'd have blood on your arms, for sure. Those guys would be going for you. you'll notice they're hardly stopping to breathe. They've been eating flat out. Now they're starting to take the first breath to breathe a little bit. If they don't get enough food in, being small predators, they quite often get chased off their prey quite quickly.
The cheetah is renowned for its speed and agility. Suddenly, the animal we're watching is poised to strike.
What's happening here, Les?
It's quite incredible. The male with the collar, as he goes down, has actually seen something and starts to stalk. That intenseness is quite incredible. You see him run through, have a go at the female. It looks like that female's probably an ostrich, and she's trying to solicit copulation. So she's hanging around the two males, dragging herself in the ground. You saw the way he was smelling in the sand where she'd been lying, and all part of the whole routine of mating. You've also seen the two males interacting with each other and playing with each other. And cheetah need that interaction between males before they actually get stimulated to breed. If there's only one male cheetah in an area, they won't breed.
This youngster's close interest in the camera is a cue to leave. Word has come from Londolozi that they've picked up the tracks of Africa's most elusive of animals, the leopard. The Land Rover is waiting as we land. Our search begins at dawn next day. The leopard is the least known of the big cats. Unpredictable and aggressive, its reclusive nature makes it difficult to study in the wild. Our first sighting is from some way off. In the shade of a tree, the animal dozes through the heat of the day. Coming into the open to drink, we can see he's in prime condition. With the sun still high, we expect him to return to his shady resting place. Instead, he walks straight towards us. Immediately, monkeys sound the alarm. They're a favorite meal. This animal's behavior is unusual. The leopard is a solitary animal, normally extremely difficult to spot. They don't live with a companion, preferring to mate and then go their separate ways. As this one slinks in our direction, he's suddenly troubled by a sharp twig. Barely pausing, it's deftly removed. The leopard is an opportunist killer, and the animals nearby know they're in danger. Fully grown leopards like this have few enemies, but many cubs are killed by lions. Although they're now known to be more active in the day than previously thought, like the lion, they usually hunt at night. As the predator waits for darkness to fall, we experience a quite magical African sunset. Detecting its prey by hearing and eyesight rather than smell, the leopard is highly adaptable to almost any terrain. Again, once the animal locates its quarry and begins to move quickly, following in the Land Rover proves difficult. By the time the chase is over, the leopard has already dragged its kill high into the branches of a tree. Although studying its markings closely, it's easy to understand why so many have been slaughtered for their pelts. It wants to eat its fill at leisure, safe from attack by lions and from the unwanted activities of other predators. One of these is quickly on the scene. Highly organized and often hunting in packs, hyenas are active hunters themselves. The big cats often scavenge their kills, not the reverse. Suddenly, the uninvited dinner guest is startled. In the branches, the leopard, upset by all the activity, is on the move. With its kill clamped in jaws like a vice, it jumps to another part of the tree. For a moment, we lose sight of it. As it resettles and begins to eat, we move off, not wishing to disrupt it further. Our journey in search of the big cats is almost over. Watching leopards, cheetahs and lions from such close quarters has given a clearer insight into their lives and a better understanding of their fragile life cycles. But as we head back through the darkness, Londolosi produces a final close encounter. The spotlight pinpoints another hyena. Closer investigation reveals why he's here. Two young male lions have downed a giraffe and are still gorging themselves. As we watch, one of them, bloated by the amount of meat he's consumed, walks away. It looks as though the pair could be brothers, chased from the pride at the same time. They've stuck together and will eventually find females of their own. As he lies full and satisfied, it's hard to imagine this animal not living to a ripe old age. He's survived so far, but the future is still difficult. Every time he hunts, he faces the risk of injury, the horn of a buffalo, a lethal kick from a giraffe like the one he's just killed, or even the spike from a porcupine if it turns septic. In the animal world, no creature is safe, not even the beast acknowledged as the king. But in reserves like Londolosi and Phinda, their future in the wild is assured, so that generations to come can see them in all their majesty and awesome savagery.